I'm not going to start until someone shows up. I'm not making that same mistake I made last time. This is an impromptu live trade, what do you call it? Live stream. It's an impromptu live stream because I missed yesterday's one. So let's see some people who's online. Drop me a message. Drop me a message on the live chat to let me know there's people there. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Before I get started, guys, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. I've got a Discord group. Got a Discord group called Pip Talks. You can join that. Great group. Interesting group. A lot of interesting characters there. Talk about everything to do with trading. I've actually posted some charts. People posting chart analysis all the time. But I'm about to go through that in a second. Alright, I'm just gonna go live now anyway. Whoever wants to join. So yeah, did a bit of day trading today. Coronavirus has me I said it again. The bear virus has got me house locked. Can't go out because I don't have it, but you know, work says I have to stay at home, so I'm working from home. So it gave me a chance to obviously do a lot of work, but also to do some trading because I didn't have to commute in the morning or commute afterwards. And it was a successful day. It was a really good day. Made over £200. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the opportunities that are available to trade tonight. So it's going to be a short one. Right now I'm looking at ASX, the Australian market. Now the DAX has been selling off, and it's been selling off, and what I saw was that it was staying true to this resistance line. And with this resistance line, I saw that there was opportunity for it to retrace back to this 50% Fibonacci level, which it got close to. So I actually made a bit of profit on the way up here. So I bought into the strength here, and then when it got near to it, I didn't want to be greedy, so I closed out my position, and then lo and behold, it started selling off. So I actually closed out my position in a pretty good spot here. But I believe tomorrow what's going to happen is that if it doesn't sell off, there's two things it can do. It can go up, or it can sell off. Well, that's the only two things it can do, but I think it might break this support, this resistance line and climb up. But what I expect now is from ASX to continue from where the DAX finished. And what I mean by that is that this is a descending, expanding wedge. And I made a video about expanding wedges, so if you want to check that out in my chart analysis pattern series, I've got a series of videos that explains to you how to trade different chart patterns. Now, an expanding wedge, I actually go over that in Discord. Once again, plug in my Discord group. If you go over that here, then you can see that this is an expanding wedge and descending broadening wedge. And there's two things that can happen here. Well, the main thing is that if it's broadening and it's falling, if it comes out down, it'll just ricochet from the highs and the lows, and then when it hits the resistance, it will come halfway and then come up and break the resistance line. So that's what I'm hoping. Well, not hoping, but that's one of my theories as to what's going to happen with the Australian dollar come market open. Now, one or two things can happen, and I've drawn them with these two lines. It could do one or two things, and which is why I have not taken a position yet. I've drawn this support line, and I've created a alert so that it tells me when it breaks this support line, this bottomed out support line that's created. But it can do one or two things. It could either it could either sell off here, break the support line, sell off, maybe treat the old resistance as a new support and then continue selling off, or it will bounce off of here and come back to the resistance line and test that resistance line. So right now we're in a pivotal position. I'm not sure which one it's going to do, so you don't want to preempt it. You just have to kind of see how it reacts and then almost react to it. But my bet is potentially, see, that's the thing though, I'm not sure because the whole market's selling off, so it would make sense for it to carry on selling off. But if you look at like the 4-hour chart, this stock has been selling off for so long that it makes sense that it might just want to do a little bit of a retracement, even if it continues, even though if it might continue selling off. And as you can see here at the bottom on at the RSI, it's a bullish divergence. Now, oh yeah, Noe James. So I'm with Admiral Markets and using MT5. Reckon I should switch to Pro Real Time. Well, I'm a bit biased because I like Pro Real Time. Pro Real Time has its problems, but I like it. It's quite a robust trading platform, and it has a lot of functions. I find MT5 to be a bit well, I don't know about MT5. MT4 is a bit dated. I haven't used MT5 that much, so I don't really have a strong opinion in it one way or the other. I might actually check it out. Yeah, so yeah, so I might MT5. I might check it out and then make a video about it. But you're with Admiral Markets. I've never heard of Admiral Markets. I'll check them out, but I've never heard of them. I like to stick to the big brokers because they're a bit more reputable. Obviously, there's some smaller ones that are doing well as well, but I like to stick to the big ones because there's a bit more protection with them, and they've got the years of reputation experience behind them. So I'm not really sure about Admiral Markets. But if they use MT5 and MT4 are like the basis of what most of the brokers use. So it's a pretty good platform. But once again, I said I prefer Pro Real Time, and just because of the way you can, there's so much things you could do with it, and just the charting ability. There's so many different things you could do on charting with it that I just like it. I'm just used to it as well. So I'm a bit biased on Pro Real Time, but yeah, I think check it out. There's nothing wrong. You can get the free version of Pro Real Time. I'm offered the 1 to 500 leverage. Okay, okay. I know those ones. 1 to 500 leverage. They're a bit I bet you they're not regulated, because if you're offered the 1 to 500 leverage, I'm pretty sure that they're probably not regulated. If they're offering that. So that's one of the give and takes you have. You get higher leverage, but your money's probably not protected, and they're probably not regulated by the FCA. So you could potentially lose all your money, and there's no way of retribution if you do lose your money. But anyway, back to the charts. So ASX is a bullish divergence. So what bullish divergence normally tells you is that if price is selling off, even if it's selling off, it is most likely selling off in like this kind of motion. It'll be coming up, going down, coming up, going down, but then it'll almost make like a bowl. So that's what bullish divergence means. It means that it's almost like it's coming down, and then the rate of change is slowing down. So think of it as you being at the top of a skate ramp, and you come back down, come to the middle, and at the middle you're flat, and then it starts coming up. So he says, yeah, I was with Avatrade plus MT4, but moved because of the high spread. Do you know what it is? Message me on Discord or drop me a message, and we can discuss further the trading platforms, because I'm gonna do technical analysis. But yeah, Avatrade. I haven't used Avatrade either, to be honest. You can tell me about these stuff, and I might even do a review video on some of these trading platforms, because you know I like to do reviews, so I can look into them and review them. But yeah, message me directly, Noe, and we can talk properly. Yeah, so when you see a bullish divergence, what it means is that price has been selling off, and it looks like it's about to flatline before it could potentially curve up again. So that's a good sign, potentially. So that almost plays into my theory that price will climb back up again, and this might just be a double bottom. And if you go down, obviously go down. And if you go down into the 1 hour chart, and then also you got the double bottom theory that here, and then obviously the MACD and RSI all looks like it's flatlining. So there's a good case to be had that it could potentially break to the upside, and there's also a good case to be had that it could just break the support and then climb. So I'm gonna potentially probably just wait it out. The MACD also just gives me signs that gives me kind of that idea that it could potentially be at a low point, ready to climb up again. So I'm actually got a bit more of a long bias just for this kind of trade, just like a long bias here. I think it might break up, so I might take a long position and then set my stop loss just below this line. I think that's the way I'd probably play this trade if I was to take it. So that's the one I'm looking for tonight. Because this is a Australian trade, then it could potentially be yo Stacks. I thought I was here by myself. What's up? And Nicholas Mills. I tried your power short on my demo, up 150%. See what I'm saying? See what happens when you listen to me? Nicholas tried my Paddy Power short. Assume you made loads on it. Yeah, I did alright. I did alright on the Paddy Power. Don't you worry. I did alright. But I remember I'd been ranting and raving about Paddy Power for weeks. If you check my like 3 videos ago on my live stream, I was talking about it consistently for since about January. Since about the end of January. Actually, let's go to it now. Since about the end of January. And this is... Yeah, I've been going on about this. People just no one wanted to listen to me. Since about the end of January, so about here, if you watch my January live stream, I was talking about Paddy Power. I said this is a big short. This is a short play. Obviously, the beer bug or the bear virus, as some people like to call it, the King Bear virus, helps everything. Every short is a win right now. But you ain't ever alone. Oh, thanks, good. At least I'm not talking to myself. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, but I said from January, I spoke from January, and I said, okay. If you watch my January live stream, you can see that I was going on about Paddy Power and Betfair or Flutter Entertainment. And so that means if you took a short when I said to take a short, which was here, you might have had to ride the wave a little bit. You might have had a couple of weeks. But then this come on, look at this. You would have made 38%. 38% or like 3,000 pips. So yeah, that was a really good trade. This is where that's trades like that I'm really confident in, because this is where fundamentals and technicals collide. And when you have a strong fundamental and technical case and they're both saying the same thing, then you can really go all, not all in, I wouldn't say go all in, but you can really take a big position confidently. That's why I kept going on about Paddy Power Betfair, and that's why I kept going on about Uber. If you remember my Uber trade where I made about $2,000 in 2 days, check that video out if you want to. But me and Infinite Investors, we both made a tidy sum of money off an Uber short, and that was because we had done the research and understood what the company was doing at a fundamental level, and the technicals aligned with that as well. So when the technicals and the fundamentals align and they say the same thing, that's when you can really like take a trade that you're really confident in. But yeah, there'll be more of these to come. They come few and far between. But when you keep doing research and keep learning about different companies, there'll be times where you just come across a gold mine where everything just falls in line, and then you can just go big. So yeah, that's why I was really heavy on Paddy Power, and that's why I kept going on about it every week. If you check my old videos, as I said, check about 3-4 videos back, I mentioned it several times, and I'm glad that it just came to fruition. But I'm happy that Nick, you traded that. This is the type of things I'm going to be talking about in my premium channel. I keep going on about it. I was supposed to launch it in January, but I just had lots of things going on. But I'm going to launch it soon, and I'm going to be sharing with, like, it's not going to be like a daily stock picking thing, because that's not the way I trade anyway. I might not trade for a week or so, but I like to trade fewer times, and when I do, they're really like strong trades that I'm really strong about because I've done my research. So stuff like the Uber shorts, stuff like the Flutter stock, stuff like that. So check out for that. I know I've been dragging my feet on that. What's up, Ewan? Thanks for joining. So yeah, back to the trade I was talking about. Right now, this is a trade that's going to be made overnight. So right now, the way I can do this is that there's 2 ways this can run. So you have to always account for every eventuality. There's 2 type of trades that this can happen. If you guys missed it, I'm just going over the fact that the Australian 200 is presenting itself as a descending broadening wedge. So that means it could potentially hit the resistance, go halfway, and then retest the support. So hit the resistance, go halfway, retest the resistance, and then break out, or it can carry on selling off. So either of these 2 things can happen. I'm not sure yet which one. So I believe around 10:30, I think, is when the market opens, or is it 11? I'm not sure. Let's check when the market opens. You could check when the US market opens here. I use this to check when the US market opens. Not US, sorry, the Australian market opens. So the Australian market opens. So UK's London Stock Exchange is closed. I think it opens in about an hour and a half's time. So 10:30 it opens, I think. Let's find out. What is it? Australian. 10 o'clock opens. 10. All right. So that means it's going to open in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So yeah, it's going to open at 11 p.m. GMT. So 11 p.m. GMT, but you might want to wait for 10:30 because there might be pre-market trading. You want to see if it kind of goes up or goes down, and then I'll take a position, and that position I might take it as like an intraday swing, so I hold it for the whole day. So if like something like this, if I'd held that for like 5 hours, that would have been 800 pips. So that's a nice tidy sum of money you can make in a short space of time. So I believe that, and the good thing about this is that if I take a long and I'm right, that's about 600 pips I can make. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to probably risk about 100, and vice versa. If I take a short, I could potentially make about like 500 pips, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to probably risk about 150. So that's a good risk to reward ratio. And these are the type of trades I like to take, where whichever one I take, I'm only risking a small amount because I'm taking it at the point of pivot. When you take a trade at a point of pivot, then you know where you're going to set your stop loss, and your stop loss can be really tight. Yeah, man, Stacks. Commodities day trading is yeah, it's hot cakes at the moment, just because of the volatility. Even though I'm a swing trader, you can't, the way the market's reacting right now, it's not really a time to. Well, it's not. There's times to swing trade. That's not a lie. I'll be telling a lie. There's still opportunities to swing trade, as I said, but you have to, mate. There's a lot of volatility in play right now, and it's prime market for day trading. So as long as your head's on right, and you don't make silly trades, then you can really make a lot of money. That's why I'm still looking for like swing style trades, but on intraday basis. So I'm still looking for nice patterns for me to capitalize on, but I'll maybe take intraday trades. So for example, this ASX trade opens up in an hour and a half, so maybe next time I might do my live stream at just before the market opens and the Oz market opens, because then I can show you a live trade in action. But then it's not that interesting because I'll enter the position, I have to wait like 5 hours. So it may not be as interesting for you guys as it will be for me once I enter the trade, because you'll have to just wait a couple of hours to see if it worked out. But once again, I just try to stress, these type of trades are great because of the point at which I'm capturing these trades. Something like this would have been great to trade a short or a long here, because if I traded a short here, then I would have made all of this. But if I traded a long here and I was wrong, I probably would have lost a little bit, because I would have set my stop loss just above this line. And that's why I like to take trades at the point of pivot or nearer the point of pivot, as opposed to catching a move halfway, because then if I catch it halfway, I don't know when it's gonna retrace, so I have to almost set my stop loss this high. So that means I'm risking about 50% of my 50. I'm risking about half. I'm risking about 400 to make about 400, and that's like a 1-to-1 risk to reward, and I don't like that. I need a risk to reward that's a bit better than 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. So that means that I can make a lot of mistakes. Not to say that I do, but like you've seen on my 50k challenge that I made a string of 4 bad trades, and then I'm the one that won made up for all those 4 bad trades. And that's the way I trade. You're gonna see a lot of losses. I probably got about 50% hit rate, but that's good because my losses are so small and my wins are big. And I just buttress that point with, I showed you the trades that I'm making in my 50k challenge. I made £100 loss, £150 loss, £150 loss, then I made a £500 gain. And that's how you want to win as a trader. You're not going to win every single trade. If anything, you're going to lose more than you win. But if you can minimize the losses and maximize the wins, then you're laughing, because then you only need to be about 40% right to be profitable. And that's what they don't teach you at some of these other places. They say, yeah, I can make sure you're right 100% of the time. Doesn't matter if you're right 100%. First of all, that's not going to happen. No one's going to be right 100% of the time. But you don't need to be right 100% of the time when the ones that you're right in a big way. So it's all about catching trades at a point where you can capitalize on big moves to one way or minimize your losses if you're wrong. So that's just one of the things I'm looking at. So this is the trade I'm looking at. Also, I'm looking at crude oil, because I said crude oil. What have I done? Crude oil is looks like it's, with all the stuff going on with crude oil right now. What is going on? What have I done? Oh, there it is. Yeah, crude oil is, I think it's, with all the stuff going on with crude oil right now on the OPEC price war, I think it could potentially carry on selling off. But I'm not going to speculate. I want to actually catch this back on the upside. Yes, Stacks. I want to catch this back on the upside. So I'm just waiting for this to sell off a little bit more, and I want to catch it back on the upside. I'm not gonna try and take a short position, because most of the short position I think it's made. I think it's made most of it selling off, but there might be a little bit more selling off, or it could start changing direction. I do think that just based off of the way I've seen it move before, like there's almost like a little bit of a support here. So I do believe that it could kind of do something like this. I'm going to keep this line here just in case I'm right, so I can gloat about it later. So it could do like something like that, little false breakout, and then start climbing again. That's what I think it's gonna do. It's gonna break out down a little bit more and then start climbing. So that's what I think it's gonna do. Guys, what stocks are you guys looking at right now? Let me know, because I missed yesterday's live stream, so I want to make up for it. Pick out some stocks that you're looking at. No crap ones, please. No boohoo as well. If you say boohoo, I'm blocking you. No, I'm joking. I'm not blocking you. But no more boohoo, please. If I say that now, you're gonna say boohoo as a joke. Them dad jokes. Yeah, let me know what stocks you guys are looking at. No, some of the guys in the Discord group, in the Pip Talks Discord group, have been looking at some interesting stocks. Let me actually go to the Discord group, see what people are looking at. Johnny's posting some good stuff. He's posting Forex. I don't trade Forex. Not for me, not for me. I don't know. You guys don't post that much on the Discord group in terms of charts. Microsoft. Okay. Why Microsoft? Why Microsoft? You know, Bill Gates stepped down recently, isn't it? Apparently he stepped down, and he's been talking about he's been investing heavily in pharmaceuticals for years, and he's been saying that it's not going to be a war that kills us. It's going to be a virus, and so he's been talking about this stuff for a while. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he stepped down of his position when coronavirus started popping up. So maybe, I don't know if he's involved in a vaccine, or I don't know. Yeah, obviously Microsoft is it's just a strong company in general, so they'll always bounce back. But I need more than just fundamentals. Me personally, obviously the fundamentals are Microsoft is a solid company, blah 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 blah, whatever. But why did you pick that? Because so far it's had one day of this is the type of chart I hate looking at, because it's got like one day it lost 12%, next day it gained 17%, next day it lost 13%. What am I supposed to do with this from a technical standpoint? Like, you can't, there's nothing for me to like, it's just doing whatever. So like, as from a technical standpoint, I'm just like, this is a no-go, just because this is like the worst case. This is the worst type of chart pattern I like technical analysis can see, because they have nothing to work with. There's no support or resistance lines that can be drawn in it, whatever. But from a fundamental, yeah, I get you. If you're an investor, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's all discounted, so I'm going to buy, I'm going to average down, blah, blah, blah. But that means that you're just sitting on money, depreciating on the hope that it's going to come back up again. And me, I don't like to average down on anything I do. Well, because I'm not an investor, so my strategy is different. I would never average down on a falling knife. I'd wait for it to bottom out and wait for it to rather than averaging down, I'd always wait for it to like get to wherever it's going, and then once it starts plateauing a little bit and then starts climbing, retracing, and then climbing again, that's when I'd enter. Because when it climbs, it retraces, then climbs again, that's a sign that, okay, maybe it's gonna start coming up again. I won't let for it to climb, because it might just be climb. If it climbs once, it might just be the retracement. I might still be selling off. But if it goes down, flat lines for a bit, climbs, goes down a little bit, and then carries on climbing, that's when you know, okay, maybe it's a reversal now, as opposed to just buying long positions as it keeps falling, because that means you're sitting on dead money waiting for it to reverse. So you don't know when it's going to reverse. It might reverse here, it might keep going down, reverse here, and that means all this time you've been in the red, and your money could have been working for you somewhere else. Cineworld is they're in trouble, mate. They were in trouble a long time before Corona. Cineworld, I believe, like they're the most shorted. I think they're the most shorted stock on the in the UK. Let me check one of my favorite websites, Short Tracker. I believe they're the most shorted stock. No, they weren't. They're not. They were at one point. Cineworld was the most shorted stock at one point. Let me check. Are they even listed anymore? Maybe. Yeah, this Short Tracker site shows you what stocks that yeah, this Short Tracker tells you what stocks that the institutional traders are shorting. So smart money. See, look, Paddy Power is there. Metro Bank is there. Let me find Cineworld. It used to be one of the most shorted stocks. Maybe it's not. It used to be on the list there. Why is this computer so slow? Ah, cool. Okay, forget it. It's not here. Let's go to AMD. I'll go to AMD, then I'll call it a day. AMD, AMD. Yeah, oh yeah, Ewan. Okay, yeah, it's fundamentals. Fair play, fair play, fair play. Yeah, it's worth looking at, yeah. But yeah, because I couldn't do no technical analysis just based off of that. But yeah, 100% understand the thought process of trying to invest in Microsoft if you're trying to catch it at a discount while the market's in disarray because of this coronavirus, which makes sense. Um, AMD selling off as well, kind of in the same position as Sydney World. I hate looking at this. This is a no go for me. This is a no go. But let's dig a little deeper. Maybe there's something to be had. But yeah, once I see charts like that, I stay away. If there's anything to be, nope. Maybe let's try a little Fibonacci. Let's try a little Fibonacci. My trusty friend. Nope. Okay, so maybe there's something there. So that to that and down up there is 50%. But nah, I can't. Okay, nah. Ocado could be an option during the recession. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, if you guys are looking at it from like straight fundamentals, then yeah, there's lots of companies you can go for. Ocado. You can short hospitality companies. You can short the airline companies. A lot of these airline companies are looking like they're gonna go bust. Look at like IAG for example. Or look at no EasyJet. You can short like the airline companies if like, but we've probably missed all those moves already. Like they've already tanked. Like the move that has to be made is going to be tanked. So it's about catching the ones that are going to recover now and seeing waiting to see if like this coronavirus actually starts the recession or if it's going to. Why am I always trading in DAX? Okay, I always trade DAX because okay, DAX is quite volatile, which is good. The FTSE, if you look at the FTSE is trading at about 5,000. The Dow Jones is trading about 20,000. Dow Jones is quite expensive. FTSE is quite cheap. DAX is just right. So DAX is somewhere between the FTSE and the Dow Jones. That's why. And also, I understand the European market a bit better than the American market. And it's also time zones. DAX opens up. We live in I live in the UK. There's only 1 hour difference between us and Germany. If I was to trade the Dow Jones, I'd be trading from 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock. If I wanted to day trade it, not to say I'd always day trade, but if I wanted to, I'd be trading the US hours. So it comes down to the hours that the trading hours, and also that the price of the DAX is like a nice price for me. And it's got just enough volatility. The Dow Jones, the volatility is on it is kind of wild. Yeah, so I like something that's volatile but not too volatile because I might lose my nerve when trades are fluctuating at such a when prices are fluctuating at such a big rate. Like look at this, Dow Jones. Look at this. It moved about 3,000 pips in 3. Like, do you know what I mean? Today it moved 1,000 pips. DAX today it moved 900 pips. Okay, so not that much, but like you know what I mean. Anyway, that's why I trade the DAX. What trading site do I use? I use Pro Real Time. I got a video on my channel about how to set up Pro Real Time. Check it out. Check out the playlist. It's on the trading for beginners playlist. Yeah, if you check the trading for beginners playlist on my channel, there's a video of how to set up Pro Real Time like mine, your dashboard like mine. It's 3-part video. It's not that long. If you want to copy it, let me find it for you actually. But yeah, that's the main reason why I trade with the DAX because it's just primarily because time zones, and I understand the UK market, and just because it's just a nice price. The price is just right. It's not 20,000. It's not it was near 20,000. It was like 14,000 before it started selling off. But anyway, it's always somewhere between the FTSE and the Dow Jones. And I like the price at which it trades at, so that's my main reason. And a lot of European traders, they trade the DAX over the FTSE, to be honest. for the same reasons that I trade it. Um, but yeah, if you want to check out my how I set up my dashboard, I use this. I'll show you. There's a video on my channel. Or maybe it's not. Where is it? Where's that video? Look at that. Don't even know where my own videos are. Great. Anyway, check out my other videos. There's a couple videos on my channel on how to set up Pro Real Time. But if you just type in Noctrader Pro Real Time, it should come up. Yeah, so these videos, how to set up Pro Real Time Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. I made them like about a year ago. Guys, watch the ads. Watch the ads, man. Yeah, okay, so Ewan, the only difference between myself and some of these other guys that trade live is that I'm a swing trader. So even the trades that I take, that intraday trades, I'll hold them for a couple of hours. So it's not going to be as, I'm not going to be as exciting as Ricky Gutierrez or some of them other guys, because they'll be getting in, they'll be putting £10,000 in and taking it out 2 seconds later and making £500. And I first of all, my account size isn't that big, and second of all, my trading isn't as sexy. So for example, what I just spoke about was the Australian dollar. So regardless of what trade I make, I've spoken to you about my chart analysis. I've told you about what I might do, two potential ways I might trade, and whatever position I take, I'll take it, and then I have to wait like 12 hours before I exit that trade, or I have to wait 18 hours. So if you saw me trade live, you'd see me entering the trade, and then we could either sit there for 18 hours chatting, or there's nothing much to it after that. So I think the current situation I'm in is the best way to do it. It's better to talk about the reasons why I trade, what trades I might take, the thought process behind the trades I'm going to take. At least you know that I've said this before I've done it, because a lot of these people, they'll tell you about a trade after they've done it, and maybe they won't tell you about the ones that they've done wrong. But I'm telling you about all the ones I'm going to trade, so that if it works out in my favor, then there's a backlog showing you that I was going to do this before I did it, and then you can also understand the thought process. The thought process is more important than the actual trade, because then you can find your own trades yourself. So that's kind of why I don't live trade, just because I'll buy into a position, and then I might be there in it for like a couple of hours, and it's boring to just watch me sitting there for a couple of hours, as opposed to I could just enter it, revisit it the next day, and then I can tell you what happened. No, I don't think it's risky. Reason why I don't think it's risky is because of that rant I just went on before. If I take a position, I'm setting my stop loss tight. The type of trades I make, my stop losses are quite tight, so I'm not going to lose that much. I'll always put myself in a position to make a lot and lose a little. The broker I use IG. I use IG trading platform, and I use Pro Real Time. Yeah, I've plastered it all over my channel what broker I use. No, it's not personal. So Ewan, the reason why I'm not scared is because I always manage my risk. It's all about risk management. It's not about how profit you make. Yeah. Gutter fall. It's a very hard situation in this current climate. I equate it to learning how to sail, and then they throw you in the eye of a storm. This is probably the craziest market conditions I've ever seen. And so yeah, for a beginner trader, you just have to tread carefully. I'd say just trade on a demo account, but trade with it like, as if it's your real account. So manage your risk. Don't just put half your account, half your bank on a trade, and then even if it wins, that's not good practices, because you wouldn't do that in real life. So just trade with a small percentage of your demo account and just see how trades pan out. So so that's what I'd say for gutter fall. Yeah, it's crazy. It's the market conditions are wild, and that's why you have to really pick carefully the trades that you take. You have to pick them very sparingly, because all we need is there's so much going on right now. But if anything, I think market conditions are wild, but I think the coronavirus, the bear virus, the bear flu, whatever you want to call it, it's more the way we're predicted to it. The way we're reacting to it is expected. I like market conditions where they're predictable, and this is quite predictable. People are panicking, so I know what the market's going to do. When Trump was every other day giving a speech about what he was going to do and then changing his mind and doing this and changing his mind. The market was unpredictable. And when the market's unpredictable, that's when I'm more likely not to trade. I like predictable markets, because predictable markets means I know how people are going to react. Because at the end of the day, as much as we're looking at numbers and charts and all that stuff, this is just a physical representation of people buying and selling. So behind every price is just a scared person or anxious person or opportunist trying to buy in a position or sell in a position. So once you understand herd mentality, it actually makes it easier to understand how the market's going to react to certain news. When I hear that, oh, there's this infection pandemic going around, I go, okay, people are scared. What do people do when they're scared with their shares? They sell. So it's like, that's why it's part psychology, part like mathematics, and that's why I love trading, because as much as you can do all the chart analysis and all that stuff, you also need to understand the human aspect of it. That's why economics is like a social science. But I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. But do you get what I mean, guys, right? Yeah, there's a little bit of delay, so you might not. But yeah, no, get on IG. IG is great. Well, I shouldn't even be saying that. I'm not a brand ambassador to any of these platforms. I don't get no referral fees, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the one I use. I use IG just because I did my research. If you download my ebook, you'll understand why I chose IG over some of the other trading platforms. But I haven't got a vested interest in any of these platforms. If one of the other ones, I'm constantly trying out all the different platforms. If one of these other ones becomes better than IG, I'll switch over. I've got no allegiance to any specific platform. It's just that right now, personally, in my opinion, I prefer IG, and I think it's the best one out there. But next year might be another one. So I'll change as I see fit, and I'm not opposed to switching platforms if someone else starts doing things better. And that's the way we should be, to be honest. It shouldn't be blind loyalty is a dangerous thing. But yeah, I've actually ranted on for way longer than I do on my normal ones. So I think I'm gonna call it, guys. Get on the Discord group if you want to continue the conversation. It's Any, aka the Noctrader, signing out.